Greetings everybody, Medicropper here. This is episode 6 of the Medicrop Grow series. We are starting off in the veg room. This is the first time we see any plants in this part of the facility, and we're finally here. Right now it's the middle of the night and all the gavitas are off. We have 6 of them up there. And we're doing 18/6 light schedule on these plants, but I do have one T5 on down there for just light so I can actually make the video in here. I've got the apertures really wide right now, trying to get as much light as possible. It is pretty dark in here. It's a lot darker than it looks to you guys. And I'm just running with the one light up there. That's why it looks so bright, because I've got everything like full aperture. And actually high ISO too, which allows more light. Anyway, yeah, so we've transplanted the next round of plants. Remember, I took these clones off of the plants that are now in flower, and I took them just a couple of days before I put those plants into flower when the plants weren't very healthy. So it kind of made these clones not too healthy either. However, they're coming along. I mean, they did all right in the domes when I rooted them. Remember, they were a little cold because they were kind of in front of that air conditioner when they were rooting under the gavitas, so it took them a little bit longer to root, but I've got them all transplanted now, and they've been in here for like, oh, I'd say 4 days, so they're probably starting to adjust and, you know, come out of shock. But they weren't all that healthy to start with, so they're not the prettiest. I mean, let's have just a little better look here. See, just not the best looking clones. Some of them look good. I mean, that one looks just fine. That one looks pretty good, just a little bit of tip burn. I actually watered these when they were still in the humidity domes with that tea that I brewed up. It was like cane molasses, bat guano, liquid seaweed, and the OG Bioware products. And I actually gave them a little bit of tip burn when they were in those domes. They'd already pretty much rooted, but I just need to kind of re-up them with some water, and I just gave them some of that tea, and it was just a little strong, so I got a little bit of tip burn, but it's better than them really yellowing out a lot. You can see the ones over here are all looking pretty good. These are all lemon OGs. And then you see I have a bunch of 1 gallon pots too. So basically what I did is I figured out which ones were mostly that had the most rooted, and that was Lemon OG, Gorilla Glue, and Golden Ticket. So I put all those in the 5 gallon pots, and that's what I'm going to run in the flower room. I was hoping to run a bunch of Alien Rift too, but the Alien Rift were just slower to root. So I put the Alien Rifts in 1 gallon pots down here, and I think I'm just going to veg them for a while and then cut those down to clones. That way I can take like a bunch of Alien Rift clones for a future round. And also I think Canatonic and Cherry Pie, all those red labels are Canatonic and Cherry Pie. And then some Medicropper Purple right here, just a few of them in the 1 gallon pots right there that were really unhealthy. The Canatonics, Cherry Pies, and Medicropper Purples were all by far the most unhealthy clones out of all of them. So for this round we'll have mostly Gorilla Glue, Lemon OG, and Golden Ticket, but we'll also have we'll have 1 light worth of Goji OG and 1 light worth of Sour Diesel. So that'll be good. You know, not too many strains in the garden. Yeah, this room's practically done. I've got the 12-inch Vortex outtake down there with the filter. I installed an 8-inch intake right here because I need to make sure this room stays nice and cool. You know, there's no AC in here, it's just fresh air. But I've noticed, like right now it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and the lights went off at midnight and it's cold outside, and that outtake is sucking air through this fan, so it's only 69 degrees in here, which is colder than I want this room to be. So I'm gonna have to plug that fan into a timer down there, so maybe like, and this fan's not even plugged in, it doesn't need to be. It'll just be like I don't know, when it's really hot or something, when the lights are on, it'll turn on. But even then, it really hasn't needed to be on. So I might not need to turn on. I might just need that like a passive intake there. I'm still trying to dial it all in. But I'll probably end up having both fans on a timer, so when the lights go off, they also turn off. That way I'm not sucking a bunch of cold air through here, because I don't want it to be 69. If it was like 78 degrees in here right now, I'd be much happier, because it'd be nice and warm for these little clones. You can see there's one plant up there under that T5. Let's go have a look at that. This is an OGKB, one of the ones that got really messed up. And like I told you guys before, I wanted to take all those plants that were really bad and put them all in different environments to eliminate, to figure out what the problem was. And this one I put under the T5. It was my tester to see, well, maybe the Gavitas are the reason why the plants are unhealthy. So I took one of the OGKBs and I put it outside and just have been drenching it with water, just flushing it and flushing it. And it's actually doing a lot better. It's out in my vegetable garden. This one, I didn't flush a lot, just a little bit, and put it under the T5 to see if that would help. But you can see the new growth is not nice. It's clawed over and unhealthy. It's at least green. I have been giving it some new nutrients, but this basically is telling me that it's not the Gavitas, because the same thing is happening under T5. So we can eliminate the Gavitas from the issue. And that's like, I was trying to just to make sure that because I had a strong suspicion it was the nutrients, and it obviously is at this point. We figured that out. I'm not gonna blame it on Kind Nutrients, although I'd like to give them some of the blame. It's entirely my fault. I'm the one that cannot effectively use Kind Nutrients. There are people out there that use Kind Nutrients that kick ass with it. I know that because they've told me. And there are people out there that have destroyed their plants with Kind Nutrients, like I have done. So, it's ultimately the grower's fault, and that's the funny thing. I get people asking me all the time, "Hey, do you do consulting? Can you help me figure out what's going on with my garden?" And I never really charge anyone any money to go check out their garden, because I kind of like to go out to other people's gardens and check them out. But I've done it enough to where now when people ask me if I do consulting to help them figure out, like, if they've got to grow and they want to improve their grow or something, and they want me to help them, I basically just respond to them without even seeing their grow. I'm not trying to be an asshole. The fact of the matter is, this is what it always comes down to. You want to know what's wrong with your garden? The person running it. That's what's wrong with the garden. It's not your light configuration or your nutrients or anything like that. It's the only thing wrong with your garden is you. Get someone in here that can actually run the garden, that cares about it, and they will succeed. So that's why I'm not blaming Kind Nutrients, because there's people that kick ass with Kind Nutrients. I just don't know how to run Kind Nutrients. And I did my best so far. I read what the bottle says to do. I went onto their nutrient calculator on their website. According to the bottle, my EC should be somewhere around like 1.09, 1.9 EC. According to the nutrient calculator on their website, my EC should be like 3.9 EC, like something fucking crazy high. And according to people that actually succeed with Kind Nutrients, my EC should be like 1.2 EC. So when I started using the Kind Nutrients, I thought I was playing it safe by giving them 1.5 EC. I thought I was playing it safe. They're pretty well established clones. They should be able to handle 1.5 EC. If I get a little bit tip burn, I hit them with just some straight water in a few days, and they should be perfect. Instead, I gave 1.5 EC and fucking fried the plants, like killing them, or causing them to go into a multi-month shock. So I'm sure I can eventually dial in those nutrients, but at this point, I have I gave them the tea last time. I'll talk to you more in the flower room about what I did there, and also go into more detail about what I'm going to do for the remainder of that grow with nutrients. But let's just recap, or just talk about this just a little bit longer. Veg room's pretty much done. The next time I take clones, I will root them up there under the T5s, and then once they're rooted, I'll put them in 1 gallon pots up there under the T5s until they move down here into the veg area, at which point these ones will move into flower. Everything's done, except, well, I still need to put on these can lights here. I need to put on like the actual reflectors and stuff. They got taken off so I could paint, but I got to put all that back together. You know, it's unfinished. Not that I'm going to use those or anything, but they're there. Yeah, other than that, this place is pretty much done. Maybe some timers on some fans. So that's cool. We're all good here. So these are the plants that are going to go into flower, not next, but after. So it's like the 3rd round that I have. Then of course the 4th round will be set up down there, and then we'll always have 4 different phases in this facility. This being phase 2, which is veg. Pre-veg is root propagation, and pre-veg will be phase 1, veg will be phase 2, and then flower will be phases 3 and 4. The first month of flower will be phase 3, the second month of flower will be phase 4. Okay, so that's it for the veg area. Let's go ahead and go into flower room 2, where I'm currently vegging plants for the next round of flower. Alright guys, here we are in flower room B, where we're currently vegging the plants that are supposed to go into flower here in about a week. And we're looking at the plants. We're supposed to go into flower here in about a week, and it's pretty obvious that they are definitely nowhere near being ready to go into flower, unfortunately. So let's have a look here. Last time we were in here, we had been flushing them and trying to get them to bounce back. Here we have all the Gorilla Glues and Lemon OGs. We had topped them last week, grew them out, really flushing them hard to try and get those pine nutrients out of there. It looks like we have succeeded at that. Now we have a bunch of deficient plants. 2 days ago, I gave them just a small shot of CalMag. I didn't want to give them too much because the cocoa is totally saturated, and even if I give them a little bit of water, it tends to like leak out the bottom, which is, you know, I'm not trying to flood the room again. So just gave them a shot of CalMag, and tomorrow morning when I wake up, I will come back here and I'm going to water these quite well with 3 things: CalMag, Psycho Grow A, Psycho Grow B, and that's it. Probably hit them with like 1.2 EC, probably go really strong in the CalMag, probably go like 1.75 milliliters per liter of the Psycho Grow A and Psycho Grow B, and they'll probably do like 2.5 milliliters per liter of CalMag. Maybe not that strong, but more than 2 milliliters per liter for sure. And in the next week, I want to get these things to green up. They're actually growing, which is good. We actually have 2 plants here, a Gorilla Glue number 4 and a Lemon OG that, look at this, they're actually green and healthy. Gorilla Glue's struggling a little bit with a little bit of like nitrogen curl here. But yeah, look at this Lemon OG. We actually have a pretty plant. This is so cool. For the first time in this facility, in cocoa, I have a healthy plant. So that's awesome. I don't know why it's nice and green and the other ones are still deficient, but very happy about this. Now if I can get the rest of them to look like this, I can maybe actually start being productive in here. Anyway, you can see these are all very light green, but they are growing. I have topped them, so this is good. The new growth is no longer topping. We still have a little bit of topping going on some of these, but all this new growth is actually not deformed. It looks good. It's just light in color. So CalMag will clear that up and we'll be well on our way. Now, if we go down here to the animal cookies, they're looking just like all the cookies did last time. I've been flushing them and flushing them. They are growing, but very slowly. There's no way these plants will be ready to flower in 1 week from today. So probably just gonna throw those away. Moving down to our 10 peyote purple. They're pretty shitty. I doubt they'll be able to flower in a week from now. Golden ticket, the structure's nice. They're just very light green because they are nutrient deficient. So I'm hoping that those green up with the feeding that I give them tomorrow. Critical mass CBD, shit, bay grown, shit. So, what I've decided to do, oh, really quickly, for all of you russet mite people, here is the Gorilla Glue number 4 that I put in just dirt, mixed in with all the other plants. Beautiful, healthy, dark green, no russet mites anywhere. There's no russet mites anywhere in the garden. You guys, please stop telling me about it. There's no russet mites, okay? Here's the peyote purple I put in. This one is really shitty and I put it in later. And it's having trouble bouncing back. Obviously it's not as hardy as a strain as the Gorilla Glue. But it'll probably come around eventually. And then here's all these shitty ones that I don't know what I'm doing with them. I guess I need to just get rid of them. So, sorry, my throat's a little sore. There's major forest fires in Washington right now. Where I'm at, really, no one should be here. The smoke is so thick outside that you can hardly see. It irritates your eyes and makes your throat really dry. So all day today I've been struggling with this. I'm just like trying to talk. I really need some water because my throat hurts really badly. But what I think I'll do is, I'm on the fence about it right now, but this morning when I woke up, you know, this is very stressful for me trying to deal with all this stuff and get things dialed in. This morning I thought, you know what, I need to just postpone this grow, veg these plants for an extra month, skip around, have my shitty harvest, you know, at the end of September, and then not have an October harvest. I don't know, what month is it right now? It's August? Yeah, so end of September would be flower room number 1, and that's going to be a shitty harvest. End of October would be this room, but you know, it's going to be a shitty harvest too, because obviously we have to throw away a bunch of plants and only do like a half a room again, and that's if I can get these things healthy. And they're still really small because they've had so much trouble. They haven't been able to grow to their full potential in the 1 month that I've given them to veg. So maybe I just like veggies I thought I'll veg everything for an extra month, have them all healthy, throw them into flower, harvest these at the end of November, and then the stuff that's in the veg room right now will be nice and bushy by then, and I can just be on my game after that, you know, just pump it out every month and just skip 1 month. But I don't know if I'll do that. I still may do that, or I may just throw away these shitty ones and run like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, run like maybe 20 lights in here with all these plants. But I don't even know if I can do the peyote purple, but you know, 15 lights with these, and actually try and get like a nice 15,000 watt garden to finish for me. But you know, I really got to see what these plants do over the next week, because unless they all come around and look as healthy as this, but bigger within the next week, then it's not going to be worth it to flip them, and I should just veg it for an extra month. So that's what I'm thinking about doing right now. But you know, it's a challenge and it's fun. I'm trying to figure it all out, so that's all cool. Yeah, I guess we're done in here. So we've eliminated all the curling and tacoing, flushed the plants well, and now we're only dealing with deficient plants, which is a lot easier to deal with than what we've been dealing with. So as long as we can get them to green up, they should grow and be healthy, and I have a lot more confidence in myself to be able to do that using the Psycho Grow A and B and the CalMag. Okay, let's go over to the flower room and check on the plants. All right, here we are in the flower room number 1. We've just passed the 3rd week. We're about day 22 or 21, maybe day 21. So at this point the plants are done stretching. They're not going to fill out anymore as far as foliage goes. They're not going to get taller, they're not going to get bushier, nothing like that. From here on out, it's straight bud growth. And I was really hoping to get all the plants. When I say all the plants, I don't mean all these shitty ones that I just threw in for fun. Remember, you can go back to like my day 1 of flower video, it's like episode 3 or something. And I said I'm just going to throw these in here just to do it. Just because, you know, I'm either going to kill them or throw them in here, or just throw them in here. So I'm not expecting anything out of the shitty plants. When I talk about all the plants, I'm talking about, you know, these ones here, and those ones over there, and these ones, some of those. At this point, they're just going to be producing buds, and I was hoping to get them all turned around and healthy and happy by now. Remember, they were in bad shape when we put them in flower. Sure you do. So that hasn't happened yet. But what has happened is, just like the ones in veg, these plants are no longer dealing with toxicities. The only issue with any of these plants now are deficiencies. And I did give these plants the same nutrients I gave the other ones, or the same nutrients I'm going to give the other ones, which is Psycho-Grow A, Psycho-Grow B, and CalMag. I gave them to these like 3 or 4 days ago now. They were all very light green, and in the past 4 days, well, the first day after giving them to them, on the top leaves, I saw really close to the budding sites, like at the base of the leaf, is starting to get nice and green. And then day 2, that nice green kind of spread out closer to the tips. And then day 3 came, and that green was like even closer to the tips. And now day 4 has come, and you can see that the green is spreading even further. So like day 1 it was like greener right there, then day 2 is like here, then day 3, and now day 4 it's like coming out here, and they're just getting greener, okay? So I'm maybe just a few days behind of where I want it to be. And in addition to that, these plants are starting to prey, which is good. You see the angles on some of these leaves? They're praying, which means they're happy. So that's good. Obviously, look, the blue dreams are not. The blue dreams say, hey, we need a lot more nutrients. Stop fucking around. Give us like 3 milliliters per liter, not 2. Whereas the Tahoes are like, hey, this is pretty good. Like, we're greening up, we're getting happy, and we're gonna actually produce you some bud. The Goji OG, same thing. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, this is still pretty light. These are even lighter. You know, stored nutrients were in here, and the plant was using them when it went deficient. It's like, I'm going to use all these nutrients to cannibalize. And I said, oh, hold up, I'll give you some more nutrients. So now all this stuff that was yellow or really light green is now darker. So it's greening up, and they'll continue to do that. So, oh, what's this? This is grapefruit diesel and sour diesel. Yeah, they're not doing too well, but they are greening up. They were 2 of the more unhealthy plants, but definitely getting green, getting green. Look, this is really obvious on the grapefruit diesel if you didn't see anywhere else. See how nice and green it is from on the inside of where I'm circling, but still yellow out here? That's because I gave it veg nutrients and CalMag. I got nitrogen back in the plant. And I'll keep doing that, but I've actually decided, well, let's just walk around a little bit more. So yeah, here's probably lemons. Are these lemons or Tahoes? Yeah, these are lemons. You know, pretty good. The plants are looking pretty good. Alien rifts are a little droopy, which they have been the whole grow. Just a little bit. Look at these Medicropper purples. They were so shitty, guys, but you can see once again, it's getting green really close to the bud. So now it's just like all these outer leaves are still yellow, but it's greening up because I'm getting them nutrients. I had to get rid of all the kind nutrients. I had to flush and flush and flush to eliminate that toxicity, and then I went to deficiency in other nutrients, and now I'm trying to replenish the nutrients. So that's what I'm doing in all these plants. Golden tickets. You know, definitely, obviously, probably the worst grow I've ever done on YouTube, but I'm not here to show off my best grows, guys. I'm here to experience growing with you guys. And that's another thing, like, the past few videos that I've uploaded, I really haven't had time to read comments, and that's not like me. I usually read every comment on every video. But I've been so fucking busy with this facility and another huge, equally huge project I have going on in my life that I'm not going to discuss on YouTube, but just as badass, that I haven't had the time to go through and read all the comments, and it really sucks because you know, I've never wanted to get to the point where I couldn't read the comments. And my intentions are to go back and read those comments once things get a lot smoother and running, you know, so I have time to do that. But what I'm trying to tell you is, for episode 5, the last video that I uploaded last week on Monday, I actually went in and read the comments, and holy shit, do I have a lot of assholes following me. Some of you guys are fucking assholes talking so much shit to me. I don't know what your problem is. Like, I'm not making videos to show perfect gardens and to show off. The reason why I started making videos in the first place is because I was pulling a pound of light. I was a grower. I was pulling a pound of light. And I just got on the internet and was like, my buddy's like, oh yeah, there's this guy that paints his face green and he shows you how to grow weed. Let's watch his videos. So we watched this guy's videos. Some of you guys know who I'm talking about. I don't remember his name. He's like an old school grower. He's how to set up a grow, and he's like all painted in green, and like he's down in his basement. He makes his little veg areas. It's like a 3 foot by 4 foot area. And basically after that, I went on to explore more to see if there's more videos on how to grow. And that's when I found Sub LBC's channel. And Sub LBC had these grows like Revenge of the Greats and then like the Blue Dream grow. And I watched some of them, and then all of a sudden he runs his Blue Dream grow and pulls like 7 pounds 6 ounces off of a 4,000 watt grow. And I'm sitting there like, I just pulled like 4 pounds off of 4,000. No, I didn't even have a 4,000 watt grow. I had like a 5,000 watt grow, and it was like not symmetrical and just kind of all fucked up, and maybe I was pulling 5 pounds. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. And I'm seeing Sub LBC like, he just pulled 7 pounds 6 ounces off of 4 lights. I need to do that. And I went out and I bought basically exactly everything he had, and I copied his room exactly. I said, if he can get over 7 pounds off a 4,000 watt garden, I can do it too. And I watched his videos, I watched him develop. He didn't have them in playlists like I do, so it's not like I could just go through and be like, oh, hit play and just watch the entire grow. And that's why when I made my videos, I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to make it so people can go to my playlists, they can choose a playlist, and they can watch the grow weekly updates from the beginning of the grow to the end of the grow. And if they want to copy, if they like the results of what I get, they can copy exactly what they see in the video and get the same results. So I watched Sub LBC pull over 7 pounds off of 4 lights. I thought, man, I need to do this too. So I copied him. I made a 4,000 watt garden, and I didn't get 7 pounds, but I got like, you know, because I wasn't growing Blue Dream, which is a big yielder. It's grown who knows what, but I got a substantially larger yield. And I thought, well, you know, I learned from Sub LBC and like some tips from some other growers on YouTube how to be a better grower. So I owe it to the community to do the same. I need to share my results so other people can watch my videos, and if they like what they see, they can copy me just like I did Sub LBC and maybe get similar results to me. So that's why I started making videos, not to show off. I don't give a fuck how many people follow me or subscribe to me or give me thumbs up or thumbs down. That's not what it's about. It's about showing you guys the process that I go through to get what I get. And if people can learn from that, that's awesome. If people just want to talk shit, go fuck yourself, okay? Unsubscribe or give me a thumbs down right now and leave, because I don't care. So if you guys want to be assholes and talk shit, you know, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. I'm here for the people who are trying to become better growers or pick up some tips with my shitty plants here, or like enjoy watching the process. That's what it's about, guys. So I've taken these shitty plants and I've turned them into something, and I'll probably pull 20 pounds out of this garden. And I know these are 20 Gavita lights, and that's a really shitty yield, but what I started with was really bad. So if I can pull 20 pounds out of here, I'll be very happy with that. And if someone can be like, oh, you know, I had the same thing happen to me, and oh, Medicropper's video, he had really shitty plants, and then he like flushed out the toxicities, then all of a sudden his plants were deficient. Okay, now my plants are deficient. What did he do next? Oh, he gave him a bunch of CalMag and some veg nutrients, and they greened back up, and then he switched over to, you know, flowering nutrients and actually finished with some good product. Man, if I can like save someone's ass, just like I'm trying to save my own ass right now, I'll be entirely happy with that. So all you guys that are hating, I don't know what the hell your problem is. It's like, I'm not here to show beautiful gardens. I'm here to show what I experience. I'm not one of those guys on YouTube that just play some music and show some pretty buds. and like doesn't tell you that I just battled mites for a week. If I get powdery mildew, you're gonna see it on my channel. If I get mites, you're gonna see it on my channel. If I fuck up my plants with kine, you're going to see it. I'm not going to hide stuff or just stop updating the grow and be like, oh yeah, it turned out great. You know, I'm here to share all the experience of growing, not just the good stuff. I'm not here to like put on a makeup and show you my pretty face and then like go home and be some ugly chick or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? So anyway, enough rant for that. I'm happy with where the plants are now. I'm kind of relieved that they're only deficient and now bouncing back from that. I've got plants praying, I've got plants greening up, and I thought, you know, I think I'm gonna do all right here. I mean, a lot better than I expected. So it's definitely been a hard and stressful battle, especially with all the other projects I got going on in life and trying to finish this whole facility and deal with these plants. But, you know, I think I'm gonna be okay. So I'm proud of myself for where I've gotten so far, and when this flower room is done, I'm probably gonna be even more proud of myself. Enough of that, back to the grow. I'm thinking about pushing these beds together because, you know, I've got so many holes in my canopy. Like literally, I'd say 1/3 of my square footage is plants and the other 2/3 is just open space, like all this. There should be buds here flowering. These should be budding sites, but they're not. It's literally nothing. So that sucks. That being said, if I kind of push all these beds over, smashed up against each other, I can probably fit all 4 beds under 3 rows of lights and turn off one bank of lights, like turn off this bank of lights, and just go down to like 15,000 watts and probably pull the same yield because I would have a lot less holes or empty space in my canopy. So I might do that, and then just like keep these aisles so I can still walk down, you know, between the plants to get to the back ones to water or something. So that's the thought. I might do that. I might push them over and just see how it looks, because really I'm just wasting light. When you have a canopy where like all this, there's no buds, and the buds are like only right here, and this is a concept that some of you guys really need to grasp that people probably don't realize. Like this bed right here, if I was normally gonna pull 2 pounds off of it, with the amount of buds I have here, it's like I'm gonna pull 1 pound, or 1 pound. Literally, like, there could be a whole group of budding sites right here, developing buds, and because there's not, the light is going to the cocoa. It's just a total waste of light. So that's why it's important to make sure your canopy fills out. Obviously this canopy isn't filled out, and I've had grows where my canopy doesn't fill out. I think the last one was that 4,000 watt Tahoe OG where it didn't quite fill out. But you know, obviously over vegging is really bad too, because it means you wasted weeks of veg when you didn't have to. But under vegging, holy cow, if you want to have small yields, go ahead and under veg, like, you know, and your canopy turns out looking like this. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to get across is make sure that your canopy fills out, guys. By day 21 of flower, you don't want any holes in the canopy, because everywhere there's a hole, there should be a budding site producing bud for you. And if there's not, that's, you know, bud that you're not going to harvest. I think that's all I want to talk about. Temperature in here right now is about 78 degrees, which is good. All 3 air conditioners that I have turned on are running at like fan speed 1, which is nice. Oh, another thing, look at this. I've got a 12-inch max fan and an elbow there. And I'm going to put another one right here, but this is going to be an intake. That's an outtake. What I've got going on here is I've got it blocked right now with a piece of drywall because it's not running. But air, this fan is going to suck air from this room 24 hours a day, push it down through a series of ducting and out into flower room number 2. And for flower room number 2, I'm going to have the same thing like that, but it's going to be coming out here and blowing air across here. So 24 hours a day, I'll have a 12-inch, two 12-inch fans cycling air, circulating air between the 2 flower rooms. Originally, I wasn't going to do that because I was going to let like these 4 air conditioners run for 12 hours, and then the 4 in the other room run for 12 hours. That way, up in the room where all the air conditioners are, like only 4 running at a time, and it's like if it gets cold, the ones that are running will heat up the room, and then the ones that aren't running will just sit there and they'll kind of switch back and forth. But what I've decided to try instead is circulate the air between the 2 rooms. That way all 8 air conditioners will run at the same time, because they'll all be trying to cool the rooms. You know, hot air will be sucked out of this room and blown into flower room number 2, where it will get cooled by the air conditioners in that room, and then the cool air from there will get sucked out of there and blown back into here. So it's like kind of all 8 air conditioners working together, and they'll probably always run at like half speed, and the temperature between the 2 rooms will stay exactly the same. So when it's lights out in one room, it'll be the same temperature as lights on in the other room. It'll basically give me a 0 diff. Diff is the difference in temperature between lights on and lights off. And one key to maximizing your yield is to have the lowest diff as possible. So if it's 80 degrees when lights are on, you want 80 degrees when lights are off. Or if it's 70 degrees when lights are on, you want 70 degrees when lights are off. You want the temperature to stay constant 24 hours a day. And by having that air circulate between the 2 rooms when lights are on and lights off, it'll keep that temperature constant 24 hours a day. It will also help with humidity spikes when the lights go off, because you know, when your lights go off and your temperature drops, your relative humidity goes up, because remember, humidity is not a fixed number, it's a relative number. It's the percentage of moisture in the air. So let me explain this really quickly. I know this video is long and my battery's about to die, but I really want to explain relative humidity to people. So imagine hot air. So hot air can hold more water than cold air, okay? Let's say hot air is a 5-gallon bucket and cold air is a 1-gallon bucket. Now let's say we have 50% relative humidity in the room when the lights are on and the air is hot. That means that our 5-gallon bucket has, let's just say, it has 2.5 gallons of water in it. All right? That means that it's 50% water. Now, all of a sudden, the lights go off, the temperature drops, and that 5-gallon bucket now turns into a 1-gallon bucket. But we still have 2.5 gallons of water in the air. So now we have to fit 2.5 gallons of water into a 1-gallon bucket. Obviously it's going to rain at that point. But the point is, the percentage of moisture to air goes way up. So let's say that hot air is 5-gallon bucket and cold air is a 3-gallon bucket, and we're at 50% relative humidity. This would be a better explanation. 50% humidity in the hot air, so we have 2.5 gallons of water in the hot air, so our 5-gallon bucket is halfway full, because half of 5 gallons is 2.5 gallons. Now the lights go off, temperature drops down to a 3-gallon bucket, because it's cold air, so it can hold, it can't hold as much water, so it's only a 3-gallon bucket rather than a 5-gallon bucket. Now our 3-gallon bucket has 2.5 gallons of water in it. Now instead of our relative humidity being 50%, it's like, what is that, like 86%. So that's how you get these humidity spikes when the lights go off. And a lot of people that have powdery mildew have it because of that. The temperature's nice and everything when the lights are on, the lights go off, the temperature drops, so that all of a sudden the air can hold less water. It can hold less water, but there is the same amount of water in the air, which makes the humidity, relative humidity, go up, and then they get powdery mildew. So yeah, by circulating that air between the 2 rooms, the humidity spikes they'll be eliminated. And even without that, I don't know exactly how much moisture that active air dehumidifier is pulling out. I heard bad things about them. But between that and my 3 dehumidifiers, I'm getting tons of water. I'm getting like 40 gallons of water a day right now out of that. So, and you know, I've got shitty plants. If this is like a big full canopy and there's perspiring a lot, I'd be getting probably a lot more water. So I think my humidity right now is around, it feels like it's maybe 52 to 57%, so it's not bad at all. And my temperature is like 78, so it's perfect in here. Obviously when the lights go off, it'd probably go up a little bit, but I don't really think it is because these everything's just kicking ass and dehumidifying well. But with those fans circulating, it's not going to matter. It's just going to stay even. The only downside to that is my CO2 levels. If I run them at 1400, it's going to keep it at 1400 even with lights off. And that's maybe a little high for lights off. I don't think 1400 is really going to make a difference. You know, if it's up like over 2000 with lights off, then that would probably start having an effect on the plants. But maybe I'll run it at 1200 or 1250, 1400 and see. You know, it probably won't make any difference. So because I'll have the air circulating 24 hours a day, I'm going to have the same amount of CO2 in the lights on room as I do on the lights off room. That's what I'm getting at there. But I don't think 1400 ppm with lights off is going to have an effect on the plants. But if it does, I'll drop it down to 1250 or I'll drop it down to 1000 and I'll just run my CO2 levels at 1000, which is still twice as much as the atmosphere has right now normally. So, okay guys, I'll go ahead and cut the video here. Overall, we've gotten improvement with the plants. We're making progress and I'm happy. I'm doing some badass things in life, so it's all cool. And I hope you all are having a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Peace.